Hey guys, I'm back again with another Hamza review video. I've got my Raw back on. So there's quite a few things in this video that I do not agree with that I want to go over. So if you've got any questions at the end, make sure to leave them in the comments, like, subscribe, all that good stuff. Let's get into it.
Jeffrey looks down at his weak, frail body. My genetics are terrible. I can never get jacked. Genetics, Jeffrey? Look around you. Let's look at what you're eating. Let's look at how you train. You're skinny fat, not because of your genetics, but because of your actions. It hurts you to admit this. You need to follow just 5 crucial steps to go from skinny to jacked. Just like Adonis. Adonis is the embodiment of physical perfection. His broad shoulders and defined muscles are the result of years of dedication to his fitness and health. But Adonis wasn't born like this. He didn't have the perfect genetics. There was a time when Adonis was skinny and weak just like Jeffrey, but he did not complain about this. He put in the hard work. Number 1, eat clean and eat a lot. In other words, clean bulking. When you search for fitness videos on YouTube, you can see who the sellouts are because they're going to try and sell you this clickbait idea which doesn't even work, but it sounds really awesome, and it's called maintaining, gaintaining. This idea that you don't need to eat a lot, you don't need to bulk, you don't need to increase your body weight, and you can just stay lean. The title that all these guys use for their videos that get so many views is how to build muscle and lose fat at the same time, which isn't an effective way of building your dream body.
So the first point here, Hamza's going on about main gaining. Now, I don't think he knows what main gaining is. Main gaining isn't the objective of staying lean and trying to build muscle. It is staying at a healthy body fat percentage and building muscle without putting on extra fat. Just staying at a specific body fat percentage and being able to build muscle up within that body fat percentage you are at. Now, in between 13 and 18% body fat is probably at the healthiest range you can be at to effectively build muscle and build muscle at a good rate. If you're lower than 13%, you're going to be too lean to the point where you're not going to effectively build muscle and you're not going to have enough energy and hormones and stuff like that. It's not going to be good for building muscle. And if you're at the opposite end, you're going above 18% body fat, you're going to be too fat. It's going to mess with your hormones again. You're not going to be looking good. You're not going to be feeling good. So you need to main gain, stay in between, stay at a body fat percentage where you are healthy and can effectively build muscle, which is going to be in between 13 to 18% body fat.
You have to bulk and then you have to cut after that. Bulking means you eat more food than how many calories you needed so that you're in a surplus, and that surplus is used to build the muscle. This is common sense for guys who've been into bodybuilding. They understand that you need to bulk to gain muscle, but a lot of guys don't believe this and they think that they can just stay lean and not eat any differently and they'll pack on good amount of muscle size, which just simply isn't the case. So what you need to do is to start eating more, but specifically to eat clean.
Now, this next point isn't true. Again, you do not need to be in a surplus to effectively build muscle. If you are main gaining and you are staying in a healthy body fat percentage range, 13 to 18%, you can stay in that range, be just above slightly your maintenance calories. If your body needs extra energy to build muscle, it will use your fat stores as energy because you're at a healthy body fat percentage and have enough fat stores for energy. So you do not need to be eating excessive amounts of calories. Now, he's saying you need extra calories to be able to build muscle. Where do you think those extra calories are going? So you are eating, say you're eating 2,700 calories a day and you want to bulk and you start eating an extra 500 calories. Now, where do you think those 500 calories are going? Hamza or anyone else might say, oh, those 500 calories, they're going to adding onto your muscle. Well, they're not. It's just turning into body fat. You can eat an extra 500 calories, probably max 100 of those calories are going to build extra muscle. Whereas the remaining 400 calories, that is just not being used. And because it's not being used, it just adds onto your body as body fat. So you're just adding body fat. You could have just had a 100 calorie surplus, built the extra muscle, boom, you're fine, you haven't added the body fat. But instead you're adding all this extra unneeded body fat from such a high surplus, which you do not need to do to effectively build muscle. Now, he also goes on to say people who bodybuild understand this. Now, you and Hamza, people watch his videos, people who are taking his advice, you are not bodybuilders. You do not need to be bulking like a bodybuilder. Bodybuilders need to be show ready. They need to cut down to 3-4% body fat to be able to be show ready. You cannot build muscle effectively at that body fat percentage. So then once they've done the show from 3% body fat, they need to bulk up. They need to bulk up to a healthy body fat percentage, which is going to be in between 13 and 18% body fat, which is a healthy range to build muscle. They are going to bulk back up to that body fat percentage and stay there to build muscle. But people, watching Hamza's videos, he's telling them who are already at 13 to 18% body fat, he's saying you need to bulk more to build muscle. Bulk up to 20% body fat to build muscle. Don't be scared to lose your abs. build muscle, go up to 20% body fat. You do not need to do that to effectively build muscle. Bodybuilders don't even do that. And in the rare cases that they have done, they've admitted that it's stupid and they don't need to eat that many calories to effectively build muscle. Stay in between 13 and 18% body fat to build muscle.
Because there's an extreme version of this which is called dirty bulking, where guys will eat pizza every day and milkshakes, and they'll just say, oh well, I need to get the calories. No. We don't want to do it like that. What we want to do is eat as clean as we can, and also try to eat above our calorie maintenance. For you, that might be 2,700 calories a day, 3,000 calories a day. If you can hit that whilst eating clean food, I'm talking vegetables, meat, nuts, eggs, your physique is going to look very different compared to the version of you that dirty bulks and just has milkshakes and sugar and pizza every day.
Now, I've already gone over the point about not having to eat in a surplus to be effectively build muscle. However, Hamza's going on about eating healthy food, stuff like that, not eating junk food. Now, yes, I agree, you want to be eating good nutritional foods. However, that does not matter in terms of calories. Hamza's saying you should have 3,000 calories of healthy nutritional foods as opposed to 3,000 calories of junk food, because it's going to be different. It's not going to be different in terms of calories. 3,000 calories from donuts is going to be the exact same amount of energy as 3,000 calories from beef. It's the exact same. The only difference is what is inside those foods, the micro and macronutrients, which are going to have different health benefits, do different things for your body. So yes, you should be eating healthier options, but it's not because of the calorie amounts, it's because of the things that are in those foods that are going to aid in your body building muscle and have better health benefits. So I'll give an example here. If you have, say, a takeaway, let's say, example, McDonald's burger, you have that, the amount of calories in there is the same amount for chicken and rice. So if you have a chicken and rice meal with the exact same amount of calories, the energy that you are getting from that food is the exact same. It's doing the same thing, going the same place, the calories are the same. However, the micro and macronutrients in those foods are going to be different. The burger, the McDonald's food, is going to be higher in saturated fat, bad, unhealthy fat. It's going to be higher in oils, stuff like that, which are not good for your overall body. However, the protein in it, the calories are still the exact same, which are going to be used to build muscle. So yes, you should have healthier options, but it's not because it's going to affect muscle growth in any way. It's just to do with health benefits and stuff like that.
Number 2, and most interesting for young men, optimize your testosterone levels. The truth is that you've probably been walking around with testosterone levels that is maybe a third of what your great grandfather had. I'm going to say that again, bro. You probably have 1/3 of the testosterone levels that your great grandfather did. The average man over 100 years ago had a 4-digit testosterone level, 1,000 nanograms per deciliter. The average range of today is 270 all the way up to around 700. If you have 270 nanograms per deciliter of testosterone, you are considered normal and healthy, which is a disgrace. Now, if you're watching this video, chances are you've already seen a bunch of the testosterone videos out there, and it's kind of boring to hear the exact same video where the guy says, yeah, make sure you sleep and make sure you eat and make sure you don't overtrain. And you know when someone isn't educated on testosterone and they're just like literally just a parrot, when the first thing that they say when they're talking about testosterone is to lift heavy weights, when there's no research that actually shows lifting heavy weights increases your testosterone. It literally just doesn't. And all these bros online, it's the first and only thing they can say is lift heavy weights and make sure you sleep in it. All of those things actually result in not even that high of a testosterone boost.
Now, I don't know where Hamza's got this info from, but lifting weights does increase testosterone production slightly. It's just obvious because your body needs more testosterone to build muscle and have more muscle. Therefore, your body's production of testosterone increases because it needs to increase because you've packed more muscle on. So I don't know where he's saying that the evidence for that isn't true. If you just do a bit of research, you will see that it's true. It's not going to increase loads, but yeah, lifting weights does increase testosterone. As for getting sleep, yes, again, that does increase testosterone. If you are having a normal amount of sleep, your testosterone should be normal. It should be at the normal rate, which you should be at. However, having extra sleep isn't going to increase it even more. It's just a case of if you are not sleeping enough, you are going to have low testosterone. Whereas if you sleep a normal amount, let's say 7 to 8 hours, your testosterone is going to be at its normal range that it should be at to begin with before you wasn't sleeping enough. So yeah, sleeping even more isn't going to increase testosterone, but you will have normal testosterone if you sleep normal hours throughout the night.
I've looked at the research and there's a few practices that can double, triple or quadruple your testosterone, and I speak about them for free in a couple of the testosterone videos I've made over the last few months. Go and have a look at those. I guarantee that those are tactics that you've never even heard of before, and they'll actually work, and they're actually like so exciting because no one has ever said this to you before. You'll give it a try and you'll actually feel it work way more than, oh yeah, lifting heavy weights, oh it's sleep 8 hours. Like, those things are nice, but those things can get you a 20% increase in your testosterone. I'm talking 400%.
Now, I've seen these practices. He's on about increasing testosterone to 400% and stuff like that. It's just stuff like not using social media, not doing instant gratification stuff. It's bollocks. It's not going to increase 400% from doing little activities like that. It'll probably make you feel better mentally, but it's hardly going to increase testosterone. The things that will increase testosterone slightly are going to be, yes, lifting weights, because once you've built more muscle, your body needs more testosterone to keep that muscle and sustain that muscle, and just having a normal amount of sleep. Those are the two things.
The third step to go from skinny to jacked is to understand the concept of building an aesthetic body. This is a term, aesthetic body, that I think I have personally popularized because I made a video that's now got like 3 million views where I talk about exactly what an aesthetic body is. And finally, I give you, a young man, permission to go to the gym to specifically build a body that's attractive, that will get you more results in your dating life and more confidence when you look at yourself.
Now, I agree with this point because specifically trying to get an aesthetic body is going to make you feel a lot better than, for example, doing strength training stuff. In my opinion, just focusing on strength. If you like strength training, that's your thing, that's perfectly fine, all for it, go ahead. However, most people are going to feel better and feel better about themselves and feel that they're making the most progress when they look in the mirror and actually like the way they look. They can see that they're building muscle, they can see that they're losing fat, and they're starting to look better, they're going to feel better. However, if someone who's just aiming to get big, put on fat for extra strength gain, stuff like that, and they're just aiming to get strong, they're going to feel good once they lift a weight and do a PR a couple of times in the gym, but then they're going to get home, look in the mirror and think, oh, I don't look that good. So yeah, training specifically for an aesthetic body is good.
Fourth rule of going from skinny to jacked is to do the right kind of training. Now, in the previous step, I just told you, to build an aesthetic body, and I linked you to that video. The reason why is because most guys who actually want to look good, who want to build visible, packed on muscle so that they look muscular, most guys are actually doing the wrong kind of workouts for that goal. You see online, there's this narrative that you shouldn't be pursuing bodybuilding and instead you should pursue powerlifting. This is why every young man who wants to look good goes online to try and find some advice, and he's told the exact same things, that he should get onto a strength training program and he should lift heavy compound lifts. No. You want to look hot, you want to look sexy, you want to look like the kind of guy that girls are screenshotting, and on TikTok there's all those boys who look really nice. On Instagram there's those Chad looking guys. If you want to look like one of them, you need to train in a different way than what you're seeing all these fat Redditors and YouTubers telling you, for strong lifts, 5x5 heavy compound lifts. You don't need to do that. If anything, actually going onto a strength training program will reduce your hypertrophic gains. It will reduce your gains, because strength and muscle are two different things. Even though they are quite heavily correlated because of progressive overload, they are not the same. Training for strength with some heavy compound lifts, 3 reps of bench press, 5 reps of bench press, will not make you anywhere near the same amount of muscle as if you did 15 rep incline dumbbell bench press. So this is exactly what you need to do. You need to get onto a workout routine that will actually build the aesthetic, attractive kind of muscle that will make you look jacked, and it is not those strength training programs.
Now, I see what Hamza's saying here with this point. It's not really true. You can do strength training, you are going to build muscle. However, obviously doing specifically hypertrophy focused training is going to build muscle a lot more and be a lot more beneficial for muscle gain. However, obviously doing strength training is going to have other drawbacks. You're going to be more fatigued, more likely to get injured, stuff like that. However, the specific way you're training isn't really going to change how aesthetic you look. The whole point of looking aesthetic is being lean and showing off and having a good amount of muscle and showing that amount of muscle off. Now, that can be done either way. If you do strength training and you're training to failure, you're actually giving your muscles a reason to grow. They are going to grow, and then you can just cut and look good. Whereas if you're doing hypertrophy training, same again. Make sure you're training to failure. You're training with high intensity, training for a reason for your muscles to grow. They're going to grow, and then it's just a case of what your body fat percentage is to look good. So either or, really. I would focus on more hypertrophy because you're going to tend to be less fatigued and you're going to have less chance of injury, stuff like that, and you're going in there with the actual intent of breaking down your muscles and growing your muscles and having high intensity workouts for your muscles to grow, as opposed to just lifting a weight and going in with the goal of lifting a certain number because that's your goal, just strength training.
Finally, there's one last rule that you need to follow to go from skinny to jacked, and that is to trust the process and to be patient. You must understand that if you've watched any of those body transformation videos that you've seen online, if you've seen any like progress pictures, usually the guys are lying. Honestly, usually all the YouTubers that you can go and like, you know, if you literally go onto YouTube and search body transformation and just have a look at the thumbnail, most of those guys are actually lying to you. They're literally messing up your mental health because they want to just perceive themselves to be better people. Trust me when I say that that 3-year body transformation video that you saw on YouTube took the guy more like 5 years, and he specifically took a bad picture to begin with. He had like chocolate milk or something beforehand, so he looked worse. Took it with like really bad lighting, then afterwards took like the best picture, photoshopped it a little bit, and then presented it to you so that hopefully you'll click on it and you'll like him more. The truth is that as a natural, a guy who's not taking steroids, your progress month to month, year to year, it's not going to be like any of these guys you see online. You can look through my own progress pictures, which have not been altered or photoshopped or anything like that, which has been totally natural, and you can see that I made quite a lot of gains in my first like 1 to 2 to 3 years of training, and since then it's like, yeah, I look a lot better and I've gained a good amount of muscle. But you've got to think, I've been on this journey for around 8 to 9 years. From age 17 to 25, I've been on this journey, and there's guys who are saying that they've built a bigger physique than me in like 6 months. When you see these guys like progress pictures online, and they'll say, oh yeah, it's natural by the way, and go buy my program, huh? Probably not.
I totally agree with this point. Yeah, people need to realise when they start the fitness journey, it's not going to happen overnight. You need to be consistent, you need to have dedication. It's only you that can do it. You can't be cheating yourself and only go in once a month and thinking you're going to make amazing gains in a year. It's not going to happen. Even if you're really consistent and you're going 5-7 times a week for a whole year, after a whole year you're only going to build like maximum 15 pounds of muscle anyway. So it's really consistent. You need to stick to it for as long as you can. For it's a marathon, not a sprint. Do not be thinking you're going to be making any gains in a short period of time. So yeah, and I agree with what he's saying as well about social media, people online and stuff. A lot of people will have a progress picture. They'll have really bad lighting, really bad picture, and then they'll have the progress picture, really good lighting, pump, everything. And then it might have took them 6 years, 7 years to do that transformation, but then they might end up just putting 5 years because it looks better in the title and stuff like that. So you can't be looking at people's online transformations for thinking, oh, that is what I'm going to do. I'm going to make the gains he's made in that period of time. Some things aren't as clear as they seem. So you've got to take your own journey, do everything at your own pace, and you will get there eventually as long as you're consistent and stay dedicated to your goal. So that's the end of the video. Again, if you've got any questions you need answering, fitness related or just to do with this video in general, make sure you leave them in the comments. Like, subscribe, all that stuff. Thanks for watching and see you.